Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Voice of the Voices. I'm Ansel Young, and today I have with me Brandon Potter.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing today, Brandon?
I'm doing all right. This is a lovely day. I can feel the fun rising. Seems like a great group of folks.
Okay. So, what? How did you get into voice acting?
So, I have been acting for a while. That's what I majored in undergrad, in college, and I wasn't exactly sure that I would ever be an actor. It just seemed like an easy way to get a degree, which is the least romantic reason to get into art. But right after undergrad, my friend Brina Palencia said that I should come and audition at Funimation, and I auditioned for Tyler, and he was doing a show called Black Cat, and it was my first audition at Funimation, and I ended up getting the lead in that show, or one of the leads, a guy named Sven Volfied, and I had a ton of fun doing that show. It was really an eye-opening experience. I'd never done any sort of dub work before, or any sort of voice work before, and one of the things that happens when you get a role like that is, you're always in the studio. So what ended up happening is even though I was inexperienced and I didn't know a lot about anime or dubbing, I would be in the booth with him, and someone down the hall would say, "Yeah, we need someone to fill out this crowd scene, so just come down here and do that." Or we need a lot of the roles that I played were Thug A, because I have a deep voice. So yeah, we need Thug A, so come down here, and or this guy's got a beard, and you've got a beard, or this guy's bald and you're bald, so come in here and play that. So what ended up happening is that one role ended up sort of snowballing into a lot of the other stuff that I do, a lot of the anime and video games and things like that. So one chance audition, the fact that Tyler thought that I was right for this role sort of snowballed into a career, which I feel very fortunate for.
Awesome. So, what is it like working in an industry for you?
That's a big question,
Yeah.
and to me, this is the funnest possible job that you could have. I get to go and pretend every day, and that is a joyful experience. In terms of the industry at large, you do have to work to have that joy. You know what I mean? So that means a lot of auditioning and a lot of promoting yourself and talking to folks and things like that. So I would say that my experience in the industry is I will continue to do all of that sort of work-a-day stuff so that I can go into the booth and make silly voices and make folks happy. It's a fun gig. It's a really, really fun gig. And part of what makes it fun is the audience and getting to do things like this, coming to a con and seeing people come together and celebrate funness.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you've been in quite a few shows. Is there any particular ones that stand out in your mind as like, I really, really liked working on that show?
So we were talking earlier about School Rumble, and School Rumble was amazing because, first of all, the character of Harima is, I feel like I definitely can relate to, having been a teenage boy, right? But I feel like a lot of people can relate to him. So just the character in the show itself was very fun. But one of my pals, Brina Palencia, was directing it, and working with her is a joy. She's very good at what she does, and that sort of skill allows for ease and fun in the studio, which is nice. We never had to like really squeeze out a performance or like work to act or anything like that. It was a really, really ease-filled experience. And we were working in Chris Sabat's studio, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever met Chris Sabat, but he's also a fun guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was probably, I don't know, I loved working on that show. But like in terms of tone, okay, here's the thing. I always want to be some sort of hard-boiled character. I always want to get in the booth and it was a dark and stormy night. I always want to do that. So in terms of that sort of stuff, I worked on a show with Mike McFarland called Tokyo Ghoul. I was a hard-nosed detective, and that stuff is always really, really fun too, because it's not goofy. It is serious, and it is ghoulish, right? There's blood and guts and violence and stuff. So I think that's one that I remember recently that I really, really enjoyed working on, not because it was wacky or fun, but because it was dark and I don't know, kind of twisted, you know. That and Gangsta, yeah. Gangsta's a fun character.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about School Rumble. Is there any reason why you really liked working on that show?
Yeah, well, there there are many reasons. One of the things that we talked about just now was just that the experience of making it was great, working in the place that I was working with the people that I was working. But another thing that was nice about it was that, you know, School Rumble has 2 seasons, and you really get to watch your character grow over 2 seasons, which is another thing that is terrific. And Harima did grow, you know, he did change as a character, and that is very rewarding from a performance standpoint. And the other thing that I really, really enjoyed working on School Rumble, because I didn't know this when I first started the show, but by the time I got through with the show, I realized how many people connected with Harima and how many people really, really liked the show. So it was always really, really rewarding to go to a con and talk to people, you know, that were really moved by it, you know, because I knew that I was having fun in the booth. I knew, but as far as I knew, that was as far as it went, you know. You don't really get an immediate connection with an audience when you're in the booth. And then going out and seeing what people took away from the show and how much enjoyment people got from the show, that really sort of, I don't know, clinches it as one of my favorite experiences doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another show you worked on, one of my personal favorites, One Piece.
Oh, of course.
It's a very, very long show, but it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like working on that? Or what is it like working on that? Because it's still going.
It is still going. You know, with One Piece, so I play red-haired Shanks, which is sort of like a big brother, maybe father figure to Luffy. And he sort of makes appearances every now and again, right? He appeared a lot more in the show, early in the show, and then every now and again he'll pop up and say some wise, caring, maybe some stern things to get Luffy back on track. So in terms of working on One Piece in voiceover, I really only come in every now and again. But it's nice to be connected to that show and nice to be sort of mixed up in that world with, you know, all those great performers and the great show. Another way that I worked on One Piece was that I wrote a lot of episodes several years ago. I mean, it was during the Skypiea arc. I wrote maybe like 30 episodes, maybe something like that. And getting immersed in the show in that way was what I found more rewarding for One Piece, instead of the performance stuff, which I was in and out. But I did get to spend something like a year just writing and really, really watching the episodes. You have to watch the episodes, and you get into the arc, and you know, you sort of go down these internet wormholes. You're like, why did they do that? And you research why, and then you end up like 20 websites later, deep in One Piece land, you know. And that sort of immersion was something that I found really, really rewarding.
Okay. And a newer show you worked on that just finished on the Simuldub, Gangsta. What was it like working on that?
Gangsta is a special show because, first of all, I think it has some of my favorite writing in any show that I've done. And, you know, earlier I was saying that I always want to be this sort of hard-boiled guy, and oftentimes I get you know, wacky people like Harima. And I really got the chance to sort of do that hard and dark thing. So the writing is great. I got to do something that I don't typically get to do, and I really, really found enjoyable. And, you know, the other thing is that Nick is deaf, so there was a lot of care that went into that performance, and I found that challenge to be very, very rewarding. Chris and I spent a lot of time getting the voice right and sort of researching how someone in that position goes about their life or communicates with people. And that is it's rare to find a challenge like that in this business, and it was very, very, very rewarding. Yeah, I love Nicholas. Yeah.
He's an awesome character.
Man, he's so much fun, and the other work that the other actors did, Ian was just terrific, so it was nice to hear him in the cans while I was in the booth, and the art is beautiful, and I really got to feel like I was, I don't know, firing on all cylinders, which is just terrific. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you could be any of the characters that you've played in real life, who would it be? And feel free to mix and match like characteristics over multiple characters.
I think that I would want to be Shinohara from Tokyo Ghoul. I think that would be who I would desire to be. Just this super masculine, tracking down the bad guys, all of that stuff. Unfortunately, I think I'm probably more Guy Kurosawa from Darker Than Black, who thinks that he's a hard-boiled detective, but is not. He's kind of a goofball. So I think that's probably who I want to be and who I am. If I could just be someone, then yeah, I'd be Nick, man. He's super strong. He's handsome. Dude, that would be awesome. I would love to be a superhuman ninja warrior. That would be terrific.
Okay. Now, is there anything that you've recently worked on that you'd like to talk about or can talk about? We understand there's a lot of NDAs and stuff like that, so if you can't talk about something, don't.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to go through what I can and can't talk about.
Right.
I do think that the most exciting thing that I've worked on recently is Gangsta.
Okay.
That I think that will stand out in my experience for a long, long time. I mean, it would take something special to usurp that in my mind. It really was a terrific experience, and I hope that they can move forward and make more episodes. I think that would be great. I think the fans would love it, and I know that I would love it, to get back in there and sort of tell this story. In terms of things that I'm working on right now, I don't think that I can talk about anything.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, lastly, do you have any Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media networks that your fans can follow you on?
No. But Chris Bevins has been haranguing me to start a Twitter account for every time I go into the booth for the last 6 months. So I will have a Twitter account. Maybe I'll do it before the end of this weekend.
Cool.
I'll just make it happen, and we can all connect on Twitter.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Brandon.
Thanks
it was a
for
pleasure.
having me, Ansel. Yeah.
I'm Ansel. He's Brandon.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.